let's get into it. So yesterday we finished Heavensward entirely. We've done every single main story quest in Heavensward. We're not technically in Stormblood yet, though, because I haven't accepted the quest yet. But as soon as I accept the quest, we'll be in Stormblood. I am going to do the first 2 quests of Stormblood, which unlocks Ralka's Reach, which is the Mordona or Idlefear equivalent for Stormblood. But you unlock it first. Hugane, which is like the city-state of Stormblood, you don't unlock until later. But yeah, I need to unlock that so that then I can spend all of my Centurio seals. Once we've done that, though, we're going to go and do some job quests from Heavensward that we've not done yet, because there's a lot of them. But you may notice that I have a snazzy weapon going on here for my machinist. This is the Deathlock. Well, the Deathlock Lux. And so yeah, I have completed 3 anima relics so far. We only finished Zodiac, like, not even a week ago, right? When was it that I actually finished my summoner? 3 days ago. 3 days ago I finished my last Zodiac relic. And I already have 2 more anima relics. But I have well and truly reached the point where there's not, like, I'm going through a scholar. Once I've done scholar, the next one that I'll do is probably Dark Knight. Because once I've got Dark Knight, I'll have a relic for every class, whether it's Zodiac or Anima. Every class that I can. Bearing in mind that we're not even in Stormblood yet. But let's actually go and do the thing then. It shouldn't take us long. But yeah, so there's 2 reasons really why I want to unlock Ralka's Reach. One is that I can spend all of my copious amount of Centurio seals. And 2 is that I can unlock a Stormblood zone for me to farm Fates in for the Yokai event. What do I want the experience on? Probably Dark Knight, actually. Yeah.
The question is, how will the Empire respond to the disappearance of Omega and the Primal? Oh, I didn't see you there. Forgive me. Word from Baelsar's wall is proving long in the coming, and my mind cannot help but stray to grim places.
I get that. My mind does the same.
Alphino, a message from the Alliance.
It's about time. Pray summon the others at once.
Yes, sir.
General Uldin reports that his forces have secured the breach in Baelsar's wall.
And what of the Primal and Omega?
There is still no sign of either at this time. He writes that they will begin a more thorough investigation shortly. And, as expected, he wishes to petition the aid of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
As expected.
The Alliance's decision to capture a part of Baelsar's wall is open to interpretation.
The wall serves to demarcate Imperial territory, Alamigo included, from the rest of Eorzea. To an observer, the Alliance's actions could be seen as a prelude to invasion.
Indeed. And the Alliance leaders have no wish to be branded invaders.
You're saying they won't fight for Alamigo? Even after everything that's happened?
Not without the consent of her people, no. Make no mistake, Lise. The Alliance is in complete agreement that the Empire must be purged from Eorzea. However, they will not set foot in Gyr Abania until they have formally secured the consent and cooperation of the Alamigan opposition.
They would have us act as intermediaries.
Precisely. The Scions are uniquely qualified to serve in this capacity. That is to say, Lise's, given her personal connection to the Resistance. Who better than you to broker an agreement between the Alliance and the people of Alamigo? Assuming you are willing, of course.
Of course I am. You know I'd like nothing more.
As for who should accompany you on said diplomatic mission, I had a mind to volunteer myself.
Well, that covers the talking part. But you just know there'll be trouble along the way. Are you available?
Of course. As if you have to ask.
Thanks. It means a lot knowing you'll be there.
I too shall accompany you. Such endeavors are seldom hampered by a surfeit of healers.
Very true.
Good point. Allow me to offer my services as well. I have spent quite enough time here of late, so I'll be coming. But we will need someone to keep an eye on things. I trust you have no objections?
None, my lady. Gladly shall I continue to serve as caretaker of the Waking Sands, and there keep watch for signs of primal and Ascian activity both.
As capable as my learned friend undoubtedly is, there are some troubles that may prove too much for a single scion, on account of which I mean to stay.
It is settled then. Let us each see to our preparations.
That's right. We're splitting up the team. Though it's really not that much worse than any of the other times.
Well then. Tataru, I leave the rising stones in your capable hands.
Don't worry, Alphino. I'll see that the place is still standing when you come back.
It's not like Tataru will be by herself. There's all the other minor scions.
Mistress Y'shtola has unfolded all. You are bound for Gyr Abania?
Aye. The Alliance would have us make contact with the Alamigan resistance as soon as possible.
It begins then. As soon it shall in Doma, if the gods are good. 'Tis but a pity it must be now. I am sorry that we shall not be present to fight beside you in the battles to come.
You have stood with us countless times, Lady Yugiri. Pray do not apologize.
Then let us thank you instead. You and yours stood with us from the first, when we came to this land as refugees in search of sanctuary. Loath am I to think what might have become of my people, had you not extended to us the hand of friendship. We will never forget. This I solemnly swear.
Much has changed since first you set foot on these shores. Revenant's toll stands as a testament to that. I'm sure your people will manage in your absence.
Indeed. They have built a new home for themselves and no longer need me to shepherd them. The time has come for Kosetsu and I to return to our master, to our home.
I know how you feel. It's time I went home too.
Though our battlefields be 1,000 mounds apart, our purpose is one. Let all men hearken to the clarion call of freedom, of liberation, from Eorzea to the far east, that they may rise up and cast down the curse of Garlemald.
Take care, you hear me? When all of this is over, we're going to celebrate. Together. Just you wait.
I should like that very much. Fare you well.
So long, hopefully it won't be too long before I see you again. A 1,000 miles apart, yet united in purpose. Let us pray both our endeavours meet with success. Shall we then? Wait! Not just yet. No, I'd forgotten something important. Lise, could you come with me? Me? What now? Alright then, if you insist. She's got a new fit. And some parts may look a bit familiar. What do you think? As you can see, I designed it to be light and loose, an outfit tailor-made to the needs of a skilled fighter like Lise. Your work never ceases to impress. Much more of this, and I may have to stop introducing you as the science receptionist and start referring to you as our preeminent seamstress. It's lovely, Tataru, thank you. I feel like I could take on a legion. I'm glad you like it, and with that, I'll delay you no longer. Safe travels! Then onward, to Gyr Albania. Our first stop will be at Amaterasis' spire, in the East Shroud. No. Now, the thing that I'm going to have to accept about us going into the next expansion is I'm not going to have flight in any of the zones again. All are present and accounted for. When you're ready, my friend, pray, inform the officer that we wish to proceed into Gyr Albania. Ah, signs of the Seventh Dawn. I'm told to expect you. Shall I summon someone to escort you to the wall? It's a map.
I remember crossing the border, standing in Dravania once more. Me and my fellow scions, the warrior of light among us. Behind us, Baelsar's wall cutting the land in two. Freedom on one side, tyranny on the other. Tyranny and the promise of a new beginning. But one that could only be bought with flames and blood.
Warm blood. Now, ideally, I had planned on going through Stormblood as Red Mage or Samurai predominantly. Because those are the classes that came out with this expansion. But I still need to level them some. I mean, I still need to level my Red Mage at all, but Samurai's slowly but surely getting there. I just really haven't been focusing on leveling that much. But it's fine, because we're not going to be going too far. However, we are in a new zone now. Who do I need? I think it's you and you. Okay. Eh. But now, there's a point in me doing fates. These also can have experience bonuses. So there's an incentive to do fates, even without there being an event on. And it's not a terrible way of leveling. That's not been a thing in all of thingy. I just realised they're level 57 as well. That's a bit odd. I suppose it's a level 60 fate and they're 3 levels below. Because that's generally how they'll do it if it's a kill multiple things kind of fate. I don't remember how to play Dark above level 60. What are these abilities again? Right. How much experience am I going to get from this? Because if I wanted to, especially now that I'm nearly done with my new mic grind for Anima Relics, I could use Grand Company Squadrons to get all of my classes up to 60, which is to say level Samurai and Red Mage. And then could come here and do Fates, because I need to do that anyway. 67,500 experience. I mean, that is with rested experience as well. That's really not bad for one Fate. And fair enough, not every Fate that we do will have that, but there's usually at least 1 or 2 Fates that'll spawn that'll have it. So it's really not that bad of a way of leveling. Yeah. Okay. Hello. I'm inside you. Greetings, Scions. On behalf of the Eorzean Alliance, I welcome you to Castrum Ruins. Thank you, General. We're relieved to hear that your forces secured the wall without incident. Have the Imperials made any attempt to retake the Castrum since then? None, save for a few skirmishes between our scouts and their patrols. We've had barely any contact with them. But we all know it's only a matter of time before things escalate. As if attacking Belsa's wall weren't enough, Ilberd summoned a primal right on their doorstep. Garlemald is not like to let such shows of defiance go unanswered. It was a declaration of war, even if it was not Ilberd's to make, and now we are bound by it for weal or for woe. The Scions stand ready to serve, General. What would you ask of us? As stated in my message, the Alliance will not proceed without the support and cooperation of the Alamegan people. We'll have you serve as our emissaries and make contact with the Resistance. Consider it done, General. We won't let you down. I swear. Then I'll leave it to you. Godspeed. Huh. Of all the Castra in all the world, you walk into mine. Master Garland, what brings you here? A certain missing Allagan weapon and Draconic Primal. Omega and Shinryu, I think the Shinobi called it? Anyway, we've been studying their trail of destruction, hoping it might lead us somewhere, which it has singularly failed to do. Then 'tis like Omega fell to earth in occupied territory, meaning it may already be in Imperial hands. Even so, it bears repeating that we engaged the stasis systems. Assuming the command was received and executed successfully, the weapon will be of no use to them. Assuming. We should hurry up and find it regardless. All the more reason to reach out to the Resistance. If we want to press on into Dravania, we'll need their blessing. Everyone's counting on us. Let's not waste any more time talking. As you've probably heard, there are plenty of factions in the Resistance, so I'm taking us to see the one with the most influence. Their headquarters are located in a place called Ralga's Reach, an old temple to the east of here across the Veladonia River. I learned a route that should allow us to avoid Imperial patrols. Stick with me and we'll be there before you know it. Don't mind me. Fuck you, you minded me. Still with me? Good. From here we'll head northeast toward the river. The water's not too deep, so we won't have to swim. Oh yeah, this is the expansion that actually adds swimming. I'm not sure if you could actually swim before Stormblood. Like, even in Lenosha. Like Costa del Sol. Even if you could, they did add diving, but we'll unlock that a bit later. Don't see any soldiers. Good. Let's cross. Is Kral gonna be okay? You're wondering about the tower to the south. It's part of Castellum Velladona. That's what the Imperials decided to call the old bridge after they fortified it. I call it a great big eyesore. Honestly, you can see that rotten banner from absolutely miles away. They never miss a chance to rub our noses in it, do they? Come on, we should keep walking. Here's a question. If I was to join a party with someone who has preceded the story further in Stormblood, could they take me the other side? Because, like, right now, we can't get over to the Peering Stones. But I wonder if you could, if someone else just flew you over there. Because there isn't a literal, like, force field that prevents you from getting there, which there is in a different zone. So I don't see why it shouldn't be possible. Who knows, perhaps the next time that we travel to Materia with Drakeling, we'll get him to try it out. We're here. On the other side of this pass is Ralga's Reach. So you say, but all I see are rocks. I presume there's some sort of trick to this? Indeed. A glamour. A good eye, Y'shtola. I take it they have a talented mage in their ranks, or mayhap an artificer trained in the modification of glamour prisms? Something like that. The important thing is that it fools the Garleans. Oh, before we go in, I don't know if Tataru told you, but my friend Nago, the messenger who came to the Rising Stones, is a member of this faction. So they know us, and they shouldn't attack us on sight. That said, they can be a bit jumpy, so let me lead the way and don't go reaching for your weapons or anything. And with a sprinkle of demasking dust, all is laid bare. Well, why the fuck did you do that? Now even the Imperials will be able to find it.
I remember the old stories. How the Breaker of Worlds came down from on high and cleft the earth with a single blow. Ralga's Reach, a holy place, and a fitting home for the Resistance, for the brave and the true, the loyal sons and daughters of Alamigo. They were waiting for us there, men and women whose souls still cried out for what was lost, for what could be ours again.
Hiya. You'll forgive us our precautions, but we couldn't be sure who'd crossed the barrier. We see you now for who you are, though. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn. And with that, we have we've unlocked Ralga's Reach. Well, met adventurer, my name's Galenia, and I work at the House of Splendors for my aunt, Rowena. Following her successful expansion into Idleshire and the Three City-States, she decided to bring her operations here, to Ralga's Reach. Our presence here serves to aid the recovery effort, creating jobs for refugees and stimulating the economy. With your skills, you'd be of great help to us. And of course, if you have any collectibles, I'd be happy to take them off your hands in exchange for scripts. With locations realm-wide, it's never been easier to do business with the House of Splendors. Yep. Now I think that does mean that I get access to the level 70, gear. Oh, that was crafters. Which isn't great for me. But it's also not terrible, because, like, for example, if I buy this earring, that's now immediately better, by far, than what I had on. So that's quite an easy way for me to get level 70 equipment. But the thing that we want that's here is over on the other side. Like Idleshire, you can use a mount in here. But the people that we want should be right around here. Oh, are they not here yet? Shit. So, these I know I won't have unlocked yet. These you don't unlock until after you've beaten Stormblood, but they're basically the Rowena sites. But yeah, that's annoying. So normally the representative for the hunt would be here, but I guess I've not unlocked that yet. You can't unlock them until you're in Kugane. That's quite annoying, because that was not what everything else that I was looking at was making me believe. How long is it until we would unlock Kugane? Pretty long. It's a good, like, 20 quests in. Or something. I don't want to waste that much MSQ experience. That's really annoying, though. Okay. Well, can I access any of the other regions, like the peaks, whilst we're here? So I have to get to Kugane before I can spend all of my Centurio seals. But by the time that we reach Kugane, I'll probably have maxed out my Centurio seals again anyway. Damn it, okay. It is what it is. Well, that is annoying. No, I don't want to lose that amount of experience. Focus on leveling my samurai. And then we could potentially do some Stormblood MSQ tomorrow. But that really wasn't my plan, because I wanted to get all of the Heavensward job quests done before we really got stuck in with Stormblood. Damn it! Apparently, Nef's internet is better at download than it is here. Okay, so we can't get through there to get to the peaks. That's fine, that makes sense. Damn. I am annoyed that we don't immediately have access to the hunt board, but it makes sense why we wouldn't. We do now have the Stormblood teleports, which will be good. Let's get some job quests out of the way. What do I want to do first? Probably Scholar, which will mean heading back to Limsa, yeah. So I need to head to Marauders, I believe. It's been a while. Yeah. Okay, Alka-Seltzer. It's been a while. You have astonishing timing after. Would you believe that I meant to send for you this very bell? Sarito Kurito has summoned us both by name. His missive was unclear as to why he needs us, but when a living scholar calls, we can scarce dismiss him. Just imagine the sorts of things we might learn from him. The military tactics, the Nemean secrets. Come, my friend, let us make for the shores of Bronze Lake, where Sarito Kurito and untold knowledge awaits. Is that the Thunbury one. Bronze Lake, right? Oh no. Some of Neff's clothes and stuff got soggy because their tent at download apparently became unpegged. That's unfortunate! It is you. Thank you for coming. I hope the journey was not too taxing. Not at all. Both After and I are ready and willing to help. But pray tell, why have you summoned us? Allow me to start at the beginning. After Lily freed my heart, I returned to my people. The first time in an age I was myself. And I was not alone for long. Many of my kin regained their sanity once the palace was freed of the Tonbury King's malignance. Though our minds were our own, our forms remained monstrous, and we dared not venture outside. Yet within our halls we were content with our own company and the quiet life. It did not last. One by one we began to grow ill again, and then grotesque. The sickness that transformed us into Tonburys has returned. What? Are you certain? Beyond all doubt. 1,500 years past, powerful magics were used to seal us in the palace alongside the sickness. Yet even these could not withstand the calamity. As we rose from our long slumber, the sickness awoke with us. As a scholar, I must see my people restored in mind and body both. But finding a cure will take many moons, perhaps even years. And that is time they do not have. Yet I presume you'll not stand idle while their condition worsens. This is why you summoned us, is it not? Just so. I plan to seal the worst afflicted within a section of the palace. There they will slumber once more. This itself is no cure, but it will provide me the time I so desperately need to find a permanent solution. Now, as for the seal itself, an enchantment of this nature is not unlike a net. It is anchored at several points, and if not laid down in perfect balance, the magics will falter. In order to accomplish this balance, my people created keystones to focus and disperse ether. It is these keystones that I have need of. I dare not seek them out myself for fear of being hunted. Then we'll gather them in your stead. It is we, is it not, After? Thank you both. The original enchantment encircled this lake, and 2 of the keystones should be somewhere along the banks. If you search the shores, I've no doubt you'll find them. Hey, Clash, how you doing? Oh, in Outer Lenosha. Okay. Oh, some of Neff's new merch got wet as well. That's not great. The perils of living in a tent at download. I'm doing alright. I am a little bit, annoyed at my body though, because last night I streamed for about 7 hours, and by the end of it my throat hurt, and you know that's not necessarily surprising. I have an ulcer basically on my tonsil. So, yeah. It's not too much fun today. Hopefully it'll go away after a couple of days. But it's annoying that the first stream of the pretty much week of many streams, because Neff is away, and I get an ulcer on my fucking throat. Not like I have to talk a lot. As your search for keystones borne fruit. Yes, there can be no mistaking these ruins. Or runes. I have it! It was a pitched battle, I tell you. The keystone was in the clutches of an arachnite, and an ill-tempered one at that. That explains the distinctive odor, but the runes leave no doubt. Thank you, Alcazolka. It was the least I could do. I trust you can seal away the worst stricken of the Nemeans now? It is not that simple, I fear. The enchantment will fail without 3 keystones. 2 on the outside, and another at the center. I lack this grand keystone, and the knowledge to locate it. While I search, pray, focus on your studies. I have a suspicion that what trials await will try you sorely as a scholar. Oh, shit. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts has dropped on Steam. And I'm probably going to pick it up. Because it's a good price. Yeah. I get paid in a couple of days. So I'll probably be dropping the money to buy Kingdom Hearts again. We've divined the location of the Grand Keystone, my friend. It lies in the ruins to the east. The credit for the find truly lies with Alcazolka. His knowledge of Nim is impressive. It was not long into our discussion of the stone's whereabouts that we were able to piece together where it must be. As you can imagine, he could not contain his curiosity. Even now, he's combing through the ruins. Please, see that he comes to no harm. We often left guardians to watch our most precious assets. I told Alcazolka this, but he firmly believes the enchantments have worn thin. I am less sure. Be careful when you take the Grand Keystone. Kingdom Hearts on your Steam Deck. It's so good. Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm in an R about. Not getting Kingdom Hearts on Steam, that seems pretty good, but I'm in no rush to get one, so I'll probably put a Steam Deck on my Christmas wish list or some shit. Because I need to get well, no, I don't necessarily need to get a new computer now that I've upgraded the components in this. But I still want a new computer. So I need to try and save up for that, really. Still. So that I can have the dual PC set up. Yeah, I upgraded. I still need to update Twitch with what the specs are. But I've got a 4060 Ti. I think it was the 4060. Yeah. 4060 Ti and then an i9. I think it was 14900 AF. But because it's a different socket type, that meant I had to upgrade the motherboard. So I also have a new motherboard and DDR5 RAM. So yeah. I've gone from having two 970s to just having a 4060. And I'm still running 3 monitors off it and all the rest of it. And it's having absolutely no issues, and I can play games at 4K and still stream and record them. There's no point in me streaming at anything higher than 1080p, because on Twitch the bitrate maxes out at 6,000, which is what I've been streaming at for as long as we've been in this house. And that's good for 1080p, or if you wanted 1080p 60 frames per second. You can stream at higher resolutions, but the bitrate will not increase, so the quality doesn't get better. So if I was to stream at a higher resolution, the quality of that resolution would be lower. So it'd be counterintuitive. But because OBS doesn't allow you to stream at a downsized resolution and record at a different one, I'm basically just still recording at 1080p, but I have increased the quality that I record at as well. Although that just means that the file sizes are much, much larger and they take a hell of a lot longer to upload onto YouTube. So, yeah. After, you've arrived in time. I believe our prize is just yonder, and I trust Sarito Kurito mentioned the Guardians. I have my doubts they'll still guard our prize, but better safe than sorry. Should any awaken to our presence, we will reduce them to rubble. Oh, look at that. I think there's some of them here. Really nice upgrade for streaming and YouTube, though. Yeah. And it means that we should be able to play stuff like Cyberpunk, which I wasn't able to play on the old components because it couldn't run them and stream at the same time. Because I record at a different quality to what I'm streaming as well. That is more intensive from OBS. So just streaming, I probably could have played something. Or just recording, I probably could have played something. But doing the both and trying to play stuff, the old components were really struggling. But those, I still have all of those components, and they'll probably go towards a beginner build for NEF. Because two 970s is still, if you're not planning on streaming and recording and doing all of the weird shit that I do, it's still good enough to play most games, just not necessarily on the highest settings. So. And I just realized that BurnBot wasn't running. So let's fix that. There we go. Keep your wits about you after. Cyberpunk's very CPU heavy. Yeah. A Guardian. Well, we've dug up much of Nim's past. Maybe it's time we put a piece of it to rest. From what I remember, my old CPU could handle running the game, just not whilst I was also doing anything. So it doesn't really work out for streaming or recording, but shouldn't be a problem now. But I've deliberately not gotten a second graphics card for this build because, one, I don't really need one yet, and two, because I plan on putting in an Elgato Pro capture card, the one that goes directly into your PCI. And that'll go into this case, and then it would be the new computer that I put together that would have, like, the more impressive components. New GPUs don't do SLI anymore anyway, so you don't really need more than one nowadays. Very true. I just realized, I'm playing Scholar and I don't have out my fairy. That explains a lot. But the thing with me is, the 970s did SLI together, just I never used them SLI, because I have 3 monitors. So I would potentially benefit from having a second graphics card, because then I can have whichever the more powerful graphics card is, being my main monitor, which is what the game would run off of, and then I could have a less good graphics card that is for my supporting monitors. But it's really not much of an issue with the newer graphics cards anyway, so it's fine. What a team we make! No foe can stand against Scholar and Marauder. The Grand Keystone is ours. Sarito will no doubt be happy to get his hands on it. That is one of the issues that I ran into with the motherboard, though, is I have quite a lot of USB devices between, you know, obviously I have like mouse and keyboard. My keyboard requires 2 USB because it's got RGB. So that's 3 slots already taken up. And then have the microphone and the webcam, which is another 2. Then I have the capture card, so then we're on 6. I also have a volume mixer for when I'm doing console games. So now we're on 7. And then you also have whatever controller I plug in, that's 8. So I need 8 USB slots. Now my old motherboard, the X99A, had enough slots on the back that it could do that. And so cable management was a bit easier because everything just came out of the back and I could hide it. Now, I think there's only about 5 on the back, but I now use a KVM switch for my mouse and keyboard because when I'm working from home, I use a laptop provided from my work. So if I plug that into the KVM, I can then use my keyboard and mouse without having to worry about plugging stuff in and unplugging stuff all the time, and use my big monitor for work, which is what I do. So that now only takes 1 USB slot, but I've had to plug in my controller into the front plate of the case. So it's not quite as good, but it does have a built-in DisplayPort and HDMI, which, to be honest, I'm not going to use. And it also has... I struggled to find a motherboard that doesn't have Wi-Fi. Because I don't need Wi-Fi. I will never run my computer off of Wi-Fi unless it is some weird situation where I've been moving it. But I really don't need it, and it just takes up space on the back plate that I would rather have an extra USB slot or 2. So, yeah. I know, like, Wi-Fi chips nowadays are cheap as chips, so they may as well just throw them in. You're safe, thank the gods, in the Grand Keystone. I should really be doing more job questing, because it's been an hour and we're only like 2 quests in. Fair enough, I've not been doing the job quests the entire hour, but well done, you two. With this, I can cast a sealing enchantment over those of my people suffering most. I'm full glad to hear it. Soon the worst afflicted will be at peace once more, and safely segregated from the others. But this is only the first step. I'll need to learn the cause of this sickness before seeing my people cured. You're not alone in this, Sarito Carito. We three shall see an end to this blight. Thank you, Alcazolka. After. I'm proud to have you both at my side. It is time that you learned a new spell for giving succor to your comrades in arms. Indomitability. Once it was the sole province of high-ranking scholars. May it serve you well henceforth. You really need to get a new keyboard. You've had that one for like 6 or 7 years. I mean, I've had this K70 for a long time as well. I need to get a new wrist rest, I guess, because it's been broken. There's supposed to be 4 prongs, but there's only 2 left. But I'm not in any particular rush. I'll probably get one when I get the new computer, because unless I use the KVM switch again. No, I probably will use the KVM switch for my mouse and keyboard. Or at the very least for the keyboard, and I might have 2 mouses for navigating between them whilst I'm streaming. I don't know. I'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Ah, yes. I'm going to finally unlock Broil. Yes, I need that. I need that so badly. My build is incomplete without Broil. It'll help for level synced stuff. You do plan on buying a dedicated mic this year, though. They are good. I've worked day and night on the cure, yet I have little to show for it. My research is at a standstill for lack of information. I feared as much. If ever men had knowledge of the sickness, it was lost long before this age. Even after careful study of Nemean tablets, I still know little more than what you've told me, that it came from the sea. From the traders who returned from the South Seas, yes. They'd lost their mainmast in a fearsome tempest and drifted, victims of the current, until at last they ran aground on a desert isle. Half dead, they stumbled ashore and would have perished but for the Lalafelian tribe that lived there. These natives nursed the traders back to health and helped mend their ship. They even sent our men home with an amphora etched with ornate designs. A gift of friendship. In Nim, we'd given them the rights due to those lost at sea. When they sailed into port a year after they'd left, you can imagine how joyful the mood was. Yet our joy soon turned to horror. The traders began to grow ill, for the sickness was upon them. They transformed, and the rest you know. The story suggests the traders contracted the disease on the isle. The voyage home must have been... Hold on. The traders were hale and healthy when they returned to Nim, yes? The sickness became known only after they reached port. You mean to suggest that it was not the men who bore the disease? Then who, or what? Something they carried, perhaps. Something like the islander's gift. That does seem the most likely culprit. But without the amphora, this is all conjecture, and I'd be astounded if even a shard remains after 1500 years. As would I. It was placed on display in the royal halls for all to see. If only I had considered it a possible source. The royal halls? I know exactly where those used to be. Precious little remains of them, but I'll scour the area. And if After joins me, mayhap we'll be lucky. Okay, so that means that I need to go back out to Outer. If I can, today I would like to do both Scholar and Summoner job quests. But we'll see how quickly we get through stuff, because so far my pace is not great. Oh! What's good? Oh. Apparently I angered more things. Where the fuck? Oh, over here. You spot something half covered with soil several yards below you. So that is essentially like Medica. Okay. No, put it there. So I'm probably gonna be using 8 anyway, because that's my art of war. I don't know, I might change all of my fucking placements. Come on out, Seraph. I've seen from the Dawn Trail stuff that there's a move that you get in Dawn Trail that will turn us into looking kind of like Seraph, which is interesting. I look forward to seeing what happens. I hope that the level 100 kit doesn't require job quests to unlock, because I don't think there are any job quests, to be fair, for the sort of legacy classes. There'll only be them for the newer ones, I think. You dig out an empty amphora from the soil where it lies. Oh, that's it? Okay, fine. If I could stop fucking talking, I'd be getting through these quests so quickly. Although I think I remember this of Scholar before, where Scholar just had ridiculously quick quests compared to other classes. I beg your pardon, you found it? Intact? Incredible. I remember this as though it were yesterday. This is the self-same amphora. Then it truly is an honest-to-God's miracle. Though it occurs to me now that we should handle it with a bit more care, assuming it can turn us into Tonbreeze. Voidsen? That's what attempted to stop you from taking the amphora. Voidsen are drawn to the magics of their own kind, which means a Voidsen of some strength was likely sealed herein. Yes, here, a binding sigil cut into the bottom. Dear gods, it cannot be. This is the work of Mark. Mark, beware the dark. Keep away or lose your heart. That Mark. An apt rhyme doubtlessly inherited from Nim. Mark was our enemy, rapacious and unwise. Their magi trafficked with the void, grew mighty from shadows and attacked our lands time and again. Look no further than this. Their sigil which sealed a Voidsen in this gift. The islanders must have been their pawn in a plot to bring us to our knees. We were fools. Not once did we consider that everything, from the Tempest to our trader's miraculous return, might be a Void Mage ploy. I must return to my tomes. Pray, allow me time to research this, and please, tell me if you begin to transform. Yay! We unlocked Broil! So are we just not going to go to Ishgard for the Scholar questline? Thank you for joining me. I gather your noses have not shrunk. Your ears? Good, then you are safe. I think the Voidsen inside the amphora summoned its kind to distract you while it fled, magically concealed. Traces of this enchantment remain, but nothing else. There were no signs of toxin or miasma in the amphora. The corpses of the creatures you slew were likewise free of disease. What? Does this mean our invisible Voidsen is indeed what spread the sickness through Nim? That is what I have come to believe. As to why it fled, I can only suppose the long years bound within the vase robbed it of the strength to oppose you. But surely it can regain that strength. My gods, if it does, the entire realm is at terrible risk. It does pose a risk. But this is also an opportunity. If we can track it down and lay it low, its corpse may lead us to a cure. There is truth in that. Come, let us pursue this Voidsen forthwith. A moment, Alcazolka. It will require all my skill to track the Voidsen, and time besides. Moreover, you cannot afford to be defeated once I have found it. As such, I've requested the aid of an old companion. Realm's gone to shite if these story specimens are all the Royal Marines I got left. They'll march like proper soldiers when I'm done. Or my name isn't Helga Tolga. Sergeant Tolga? After, do you understand who this is? Before us stands the greatest drill instructor of the Nemean military. Come on, we have much and more to learn. Okay. Where did Helga Tolga go? Surprisingly close to the camp, aren't you? Think you've got what it takes to be a Royal Marine? Yeah, you make me laugh. Never worn glasses into battle, boy. Expect your foe to wait while you wipe blood from the lenses, do ya? And the scholar. A lot like you in the war. More use dead than alive. Having their corpses piled high around us kept us safer than their damned magics ever did. You're a bloody joke. But I'm here to turn you into Royal Marines, and Royal Marines you will be. First, the creed. To victory. Come hell's or high water. Come on, let me hear you. To victory, come hell or high water. How do you expect to strike fear into your enemies whispering like that? Open your gobs and say it like you mean it. To victory! Come hells or high water, sir! Well, you show spirit. I'll give you that. Now, to your tasks. First, the scholar. There's a band of Mamuja sellswords what have been eyeing our palace. Walk up to him with a great stupid grin and laugh in the leader's face. The Orsons will hurl everything they've got at you for that. Acquit yourself well and you pass. Now go. I have to laugh at some Mamulja. Why does this just feel like they did some of the earlier Realm Reborn like job quests? Why? Why you laugh? You think Mamulja funny? No, you funny. I laugh, see? You die now! Oh shit, they're not done. Again, that was a quick one. You're both still alive. Not half bad. But any real Marine could have done it twice as fast. You truly are the sorriest excuse for a unit I have ever seen. With all due respect, sir, the tasks you gave us were... I mean, what was I supposed to achieve by massaging that man with salamander oil? You bloody fool, if you got asked, then clearly you learned nothing. And you, scholar, you're gonna tell me you don't know why I had you fight without a protector? Chaos reigns on the battlefield. The Marines around you are all you've got, and they will die for your failings. Marines, scholars, everyone has to do whatever it takes to survive, to be all they can be. Until you understand that, you're not fit to face even the weakest Void Sent. That's all for today. Now, get back to training. You're dismissed. Hey, Venetius. Good to see you again. Thanks for coming back. We are indeed in Stormblood now. We've got to Ralga's Reach, and then I found out that you don't unlock the hunt NPCs until you reach Kugane. So I'm going to level my samurai after today, so like tomorrow before I stream. I'm going to level up my samurai, and then we'll do Stormblood MSQ to get us toward Kugane. We probably won't get there tomorrow, but toward Kugane. Whilst also making use of all of that lovely, lovely MSQ experience. If I can, I'll also level Red Mage, but I'm doubtful I'll be able to level them both up to 60 in time. Wish I were on the US side so you could Q boost me with White Mage. Oh, that's not going to be much of an issue because I can use my squadron. That's kind of my plan, is to just run the vault a shit ton of times. But now that we're in Stormblood, I can also make things with the experience boosted fates that'll help, because I need to farm fates in Stormblood anyway in order to get the last 2 yokai weapons and the mount for having all 17 of the weapons. Yeah. Sir, yes, sir, I've been a fool. After. I will do as he says. To victory! Come hell to high water! The thing that I wish I could do is I wish I could get a party together of like blue mages or some shit and run Castrum a bunch of times to get Poetics and the Moogle Tombstone stuff. Because if I'm farming one, I may as well farm them both. Because I still need so many things for Anima Relics. We got the Deathlock Lux earlier today, so I have 3 Anima Relics down. But I only have enough unidentifiable items to make 1 more. I think, yeah. And then I need Umbrite and Singing Clusters as well. It's so many fucking Poetics, dude. Emergency tactics. We're just getting a shit ton of things for the Scholar, huh? How goes the training, friends? As After's comrade in arms, it's clear that her prowess with the scholarly arts has increased immeasurably thanks to Sergeant Tolga's advice. Alas, the same cannot be said of me. I'd already thought myself a master of Nemean techniques, frankly, based on what I had gleaned from the tablets we uncovered, but the Sergeant's training has robbed me of that notion. I'm still a novice. Until Sergeant Tolga says I am worthy, I wish to continue training. Your ambition does you well, Alcazolka. Stay true to this path, and you will become as fine a marine as ever marched under our banner. Well, I suppose I have no choice but to ask you to do the work of 2. I've tried every method known to me to find our missing Voidsent, but without success. It seems Nemean magics will not suffice. That comes as little surprise. This Voidsent was in Mark's thrall and likely chosen for its ability to circumvent Nemean wards. Yes, which is why I hope your academics have answers I do not. Have you any writings on Voidsent? I believe the Thaumaturges Guild in Uldar has a collection dating back centuries, including some authored by their Beladian forefathers. Beladian? Not Maki. Perhaps they were the heirs to the Void Mage legacy. In any case, this Uldar seems worth a visit. Will you go in my stead? I suggest you seek out Yayake. She's an old friend whose love of ancient tomes rivals mine own. I wish I could see her in person, but I must continue my training, as well as look after the new recruits. What the fuck? 1, 2, 3. To victory after! Come hell or high water! You're also discerning the subtle differences of the tanks. For warriors, you think it's more precise in its windows. Gunbreaker is consistently strong, but you expect continuation makes it busy. I didn't play tank until I started this character. And I've still not really played any Gunbreaker. But the only tank that I like so far is Warrior. It just has insane sustainability, especially once we get raw intuition. But it also does really good damage. And I like it. I know that Gunbreaker can do a lot of damage as well, though. And Paladin, once you have Requisite, has got some good burst from that. But I dislike the the fact that the damage up for Paladin is linked to No Mercy rather than being able to be like a part of your combo like it is for Warrior or Dark Knight. I prefer having something that I can weave in rather than having to remember to apply a buff. Ah, our own Avatar of Devastation. To what do we owe the pleasure? Alka. Alka-Zolka? That's not a name I expected to hear, but I'm glad my fellow book lover is well. I've indeed read of Voidson able to perfectly conceal their form. There was a tome on the subject, Unseen was the title, penned in the 5th Astral Era. Unfortunately, it's no longer a part of our collection. A member of the guild borrowed it for his research expedition, a project which was to last some few moons. However, that was 5 years ago, and he's not been heard from since. A pity. He proposed the most fascinating theories on Voidsent, and travelled to the western highlands of Kurthus to put them to proof. Alas, that area was rendered inhospitable by the calamity. There is a chance, of course, that the man is alive, and the book unharmed. We traced his journey as far as Falcon's Nest. Mayhap someone there can point you in toward where he ventured. For the Paladin, you fear the rework held off on the self-healing for so long, you think it pushes some off. Yeah, because you don't get healing until Clemency, right? Which is Heavensward, I think. But even then, it's not as good as Warrior with Raw Intuition. I mean, this is mainly going off of what I've heard other people say about it, because I've not done Warrior or Paladin job quests for Heavensward yet. Level 58, yeah. I know of it from watching Wrath Games solo Final Fantasy XIV. Like that's where I get the majority of my like tank knowledge from. How now, adventurer? Clemency is hella strong in boss fights, but terrible in dungeon pulls. On the trail of a researcher who visited 5 years ago. That's not much to go on. The garrison was still stationed here in those days. Sabini is in charge of organising the records. If any here know of your researcher, it'll be her. But I know that Paladin obviously is going to be about cover and things like that. It's a very prominent mechanic in the Final Fantasy series. I don't really like the oath gauge that much. I don't... Paladin isn't that great for me and the way that I like to play. I think I prefer Warrior, and I probably will enjoy Gunbreaker when I actually get into playing it. Because from what I know, it is strong. But I know that there's... I think the rotation is a bit more complicated for Gunbreaker. But who am I kidding? I've never done optimum rotations. Oh, hello. How might I help you? Man researching Voidson? Yes, where was it he was mentioned? Ah, that's right. He stayed here for a time before taking the North Star downriver, which was one among many sunk by the fearsome Primal's rampage during the calamity. The lucky few who made it to the shore were then eaten by Vilekin. Well, the boat ran aground and hasn't moved since the river froze over. You may wish to search the wreck yourself, though do be careful of the local wildlife. I do still need to play more of basically all of the classes, because I want to get them all up to, well, at the moment 90, but in about 3 weeks it'll be 100. But I do want to keep going with the, like, Omni class approach that we've been taking. Okay, it's not lookout. Prey? It's not prey. What do you want me to do then? What do you want? Rally, apparently. There we go. The Oath Gauge's defensive utilities is the highest mitigation strength in 8-man's, cover, intervention, sheltron, etc. And you have Bulwark, Divine Veil, Sentinel, Passage of Arms. Yeah. Like, I appreciate that Paladin has the most utility, I think. But to play it, I don't enjoy it that much. I could see it being much more what Patinga, one of my mods who likes to tank, I can see it being much more his style because of that utility and everything. Whereas I'm a much more selfish tank. And I only care about myself, so I just want warrior. Give me damage and let me heal myself. Fuck you, I'll do it myself. that's basically what I've just said. Shield Bash is good. I must admit, I do like Shield Bash. It's nice having two different stuns. I look forward to getting Fell Cleave as a warrior, though. Even though my warrior is in the 70s, I haven't done Heavensward yet. The job quests yet. So, I haven't got Fell Cleave. Have you found anything to aid our cause? These things have all seen better days. Ah, but here's the book, and the writing is still legible. It will take some time and patience, but I'm hopeful its secrets will allow us to snare our invisible Voidson. Do mine ears deceive me, or did you track down a book? Splendid after! As for me, I would like to think I've improved by leaps and bounds. Thanks to Sergeant Tolga, the recruits are coming along nicely as well. With a bit more training, every individual in our unit will be able and ready to face our Voidsent foe in battle. Very good, then let us attend to our tasks. The day of reckoning will be upon us soon enough. The issue with me having played Scholar so much is I'm now going to have to get used to having these skills. You think the major issue is we're reaching a crash point in the skill button vertical scaling axis? Yeah. Because there's only so many different buttons that you can be expected to press. Unless you start macroing shit. Okay. So that basically spreads galvanize, which could be useful. And that just means that instead of doing a shield, it heals by the amount that it would have given shield. That doesn't seem as useful. I don't know when I'd want to use that. You call it the accordion theory. I like that. Wait, I'm already at level 6? Jesus Christ, Scholar just blasts through this, huh? Ah, yes, dissipation. We can tell our fairy to fuck off. But it would mean that our fairy is gone for 30 seconds. Okay. Okay. I have it after. The means to track our invisible Voidson. The time has come to discuss our attack. Aha! I've been waiting for this day. What's the plan, Sarito Carito? First, we will need to track our quarry. I believe it has been feeding upon the ether of local creatures to regain its strength. The way in which it feeds leaves behind unique ethereal traces. As breadcrumbs mark the path of a hungry child, this trail will lead us straight to the Voidson. How are we to detect these traces? With Lily's aid, she can sense where the Voidson is left ethered undevoured. We'll begin our search where you unearth the Amphora and follow where Lily leads. Once she senses the Voidson is near, we'll force it to show itself. Lily will illuminate the area and her light will dispel the magics concealing it. Right, my dear? With the Voidson visible, we will attack with all our might. The Marines will charge and kill it before it causes more damage. This is it, After. A chance to prove the might of our core. Little one, the fate of the realm is in your hands. Are you ready? Deployment tactics is more of a preemptive, I know this is coming situation where a tank buster happens, so you add low, and then the boss does a raid wide or stacker and you deploy after the buster. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can see... But isn't... I thought... Wait, no. Wasn't deployment tactics... That's the one where it spreads the galvanize and catalyze. That I can see being useful. That definitely has a use. It's the other one that changes the shield to healing, because I feel like the shield has more utility than the heal most of the time. But Then our course is clear. May our plan ensure the sickness never again claims a victim. To victory, come hells or high water! I'm sure it has its use, like where I need to do a heal, a good heal to the entire party, but don't necessarily want to use like regen or Fey Blessing is on cooldown. Emergency tactics is to save an indomitability for a sucker hardcast. I guess, yeah. Like, I can see that it will have a use, and its recast is only 15 seconds, so I guess it's fine. It's fine. No, it is good. It's just with how I have played Scholar up to this point, I struggle to see when I would use it. And when I wouldn't just succor and then indomitability or Whispering Dawn. But that's just me, and I'm not a very good scholar. Through the ethereal traces, through the ethereal traces remaining from devoured prey, your fairy senses the Voidsent is moving towards Selma's Run. White Mage, I don't know, just throw rocks! Yes, until you get so good at throwing rocks that you can throw them at the speed of light. And you do the same thing with air, where it moves so fast it becomes light as well. Now fuck this teleport. I have so many seals that I can waste some Aetheryte tickets if I need to. I should really edit these, given that I have no shortage anymore. Wait, what? Oh! I see. When I upgraded my components and lost all of my settings, I must not have fixed my Aetheryte use. Okay, so always use for costs above, we'll call it 200. Because if a teleport costs less than 200, I can afford that. That's just a me being lazy teleport. Through the ethereal traces, the Voidsent is moving toward Camp Bronze Lake. What is it after? But that way lies Camp Bronze Lake. What purpose could it have there? The healing waters? No, I suppose it's home to... Of course! The wounded Maelstrom soldiers! It means to spread the sickness anew through them! We must stop it! Quickly! To the camp! You think it takes until Requisite before you can safely solo bosses on Paladin? Yes. I would agree with you. I'm a bit confused. Where that came from? I'm not sure what the but was too, but yes, I agree. Requisite makes soloing a duty as Paladin so much fucking easier. It made me actually enjoy soloing as Paladin, because you just get to the boss and then you could do Requisite and do Holy Oath or whatever it is that's the damage, and you can do a really good burst. I think that's what I relied on for quite a lot of the Zodiac dungeon. runs. I don't particularly look forward to doing the anima. But on tank, I imagine it wouldn't be too bad because I could queue in, and playing as tank, the queue time probably still won't be too bad. God damn it! This place is bloody crowded. If we don't find the Voidsent quickly, there's to be a lot more Tonberries. How do we draw it out in the open if we can't see it? Get the soldiers to evacuate. After, find the Voidsent with Lily's light. Yeah, Black Mage. Black Mage is going to be an interesting one. To do the anima stuff on as well. What color should I be looking for? That one. Okay. Maleficent green. Oh. I can't hurt it. Or I can, but it has so much health that I can't kill it feasibly. After. Hello. That's a different looking one. At long last. What? Monster! For Limsa. For the Tonberries. And for glory! Attack! To victory, come hells or high water. Nemean Plague. Bitoso. You're a fucking idiot. Don't stand in the AoEs. Did you not do Hall of the Novice, Alcazolka? Oh god. They've all got it. You're all as dumb as each other. And why, out of 3 Marauders, was I just tanking? How shit are all three of you that I'm holding aggro? Oh, hey, it's the Tonbreeze. I got distracted by Tonbreeze. Is it? Get back! It's trying to infect us! No. Now after! Did I see the healer strike? No. Aha! We are victorious! The Peats. The Slappidays. Yes. When I think on the horror it visited upon my people, But now, no one else will share our fate. My thanks to you and Elka Zolka both. Aye, you got my gratitude as well. Good to see proper Royal Marines at it again. Oh, that's what you mean by healer strike. Yeah, because in Endwalker they made it so that you basically don't need a healer. As a healer main in this game for now 40 years, all I can say is I'm tired. My role has been eroded of complexity and expression for 3 expansions. You've watched the tanks do your role for you for 2 expansions, and your feedback and critiques continue to fall on deaf ears. Yeah, and then given that they took Astro from something that was probably a bit complicated, but also rewarding for it, to instead just being simplistic as fuck. Like, I am a healer main who primarily solos. And I was a white mage main. So I didn't have to press many buttons. White mage, but then also ninja. Which, as soon as you got it to 90, suddenly had more buttons. With forking, riding, and shit. Anyway, indeed it is. Today the torch is passed to you. May the Royal Marines evermore defend the people. Bloody Tonbury eyes. Always running with, who am I kidding? You did a fine job. Fine job indeed. But don't you dare think of easing up on your training on account of one victory. If you sully the name of my beloved Marines, I'll flay the skin off your back. Ain't common feeling that's safe in a battle. I reckon those Nymeans knew what they were doing with them scholars and fairies. I'll have your back too if ever you need it. An honor fighting beside you. If you ever need of us, you need only ask. Having played since 2023, you tend to think the issue is in the MSQ content. Healers are the most boring job in the entire game. Yeah. I haven't played much I haven't really played Sage at all. But none of the healers get much in the way of good attack for even solo stuff until after Heavensward. Or late Heavensward. Like, White Mage, as soon as you get a size and Afflatus... But, okay, so a size is Heavensward, but then Afflatus Misery is Stormblood. But then you've basically got your full offensive kit. Scholar is better in comparison because you've got instant cast, your DOT, and everything else. And the instant AoE is very nice. Astro, attack-wise, is quite lackluster. Comparatively, because you get the giant dominance, earthly dominance thing, but that isn't great. I think combat-wise, out of those three healers, because I've not played Sage much, and I know that that's basically a DPS healer, apparently. Scholar seems to be the best for if you want to play by yourself without being in a party. White Mage, I think, is the best for being in a party if you want to do some damage as well. Whereas Astro has the most utility because you can make other people do more damage. And then I can't really speak for Sage. But I'm not a massive fan of Astro. I've gotten used to it now, after having played it a bit, but it's one of those jobs where unless they were to change or add a bunch of stuff to it in the later levels, it just doesn't seem like it gets interesting. It doesn't seem like it gets more fun. So I see where you're coming from for boring. Like, healers are some of the most simplistic of the classes. Like, White Mage is simple as fuck. And I'll say that as someone that was a White Mage main. Since playing Scholar more for this, Scholar has really grown on me because you can actually still do some DPS, and because the Fairy is doing some of the healing, you don't have to focus on healing as much, which is nice. But then you've still got the heals, but then you have to do the ether flow, and it's a little bit more interesting to actually play it. I think it also helps that by leveling Scholar, you also level a DPS. So that then if you did want to solo something that requires DPS, but not necessarily as much sustain, you could just switch to Summoner. It's around Stone Vigil that you need to actually heal yourself. Yeah, Stone Vigil is the turning point for most classes, where you actually need to start learning how to play your class. I know that it's definitely for tank in most cases. So long as you know to have a tank stance on, you don't really need to try until you start getting to Stone Vigil. But that's because the MSQ gear stops being dungeon level, if I remember rightly. Anyway, I keep getting distracted. I just want to talk. I just want to chat and yap. After yesterday's stream, my brain is just not on today. I had about 5 hours of sleep. Imagine after defeating a Voidsen after 1,500 years, over 1,500 years old. When we first met, I didn't dare think we'd achieve such things together. The threat is gone, and the Royal Marines are born anew. Not a bad day's work, I dare say. But we're far from finished. We do not know what threats the future holds, but they will not find us unprepared. Not as long as I have aught to say about it. To victory, my friend! Come hells or high water! Stone Vigil's second trash pull is close to the hardest in the game. Is that the one after the first boss? I've ran Stone Vigil a lot of times. I'm struggling to remember what that pull looks like, though. Because that's when you start having the ice sprites in it as well. Yeah, I'm struggling to remember just how many enemies it is. But I know that toward the end of that pull, you've got some Avises, and the Avises hit pretty hard. 5 Avises, 6 ice sprites. Is it the 6? I thought the 6 wasn't until after the second boss. I thought there was only 3 ice sprites. I might be misremembering it. I have gathered the Void Sense remains. With careful research, they should yield the secrets I need to heal my people. I'm not so naive as to believe the answers will come quickly, yet the cure shall be ours one day. For now, my people will labour so that we may walk with yours towards a brighter dawn. I would see a future where we are part of the realm, not shunned by it. Thank you, my friend. Lily chose most wisely in you. Allow me to pass on to you one of Nim's mightiest abilities, Dissipation. It's a secret spell meant for use only by those scholars who have earned the full trust of their fairy companions. Use it with care. Now, I must return to my people, and you to yours. Fare you well. May our efforts make tomorrow a brighter day. So, the entire Scholar Heavensward questline, we only went into Heavensward zones once. Okay. So yeah, Dissipation grants you ether flow. Flying colors? Oh, yeah. So, I'm not sure how often I'm going to want to do that. It increases healing magic potency by 20% as well, which is not bad. But personally, with how I play it, like, that would be good for a DPS burst. But then you won't have your fairy. And you don't really benefit from the 20% healing. But I could see, do Dissipation, Emergency Tactics, Succor, and you get a big heal in a panic. So that would probably work. Okay. Well, now that we've done Scholar... Oh, I suppose I should... The Savant's attire. Of course, I can't see what the helmet looks like. Those are some ugly gauntlets. Ugly, ugly gauntlets. I don't think I like it. The skirt is a bit more interesting than the retainer style one. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like those. The top 5 trash pulls in dungeons for you are Don Meg leading to the second boss, Shisu leading to Ruby Princess, Holminster Switch's first pull, Anemesis, and then Stone Vigil. Fair. I mean, I can't argue. I've not done Anemesis to be able to say, and obviously I've not gotten to any of the Stormblood or Shadowbringers dungeons on this character yet, and I didn't tank on my other character, so I can't speak. I can see Holminster Switch. I can understand. There are some big pulls in that, though. I can see that from having healed it. Okay, well, now that we've done Scholar, let's get Summoner done. Just rolled credits on Silent Hill 2, and now you're ready for all the words you don't understand. Hell yeah. We're gonna summon Bahamut. Holminster's not big, the mobs just chunk hard. Is Holminster... Holminster is the first dungeon in Shadowbringers, right? Where it's basically like a long corridor along like a country path. I remember there being quite a few things that you come across, but it's been a long time since. Well, I say it's been a long time. It's probably been about 6 months, or 6 to 9 months since I last did it. I started this character in February, and since then I've not played any of my other characters really, beyond doing a bit of guild farming. Bear, spiders, 2 bears, more spiders. Yeah, that sounds about right. Silent Hill 1, 8.5. Silent Hill 2, 10 out of 10. Yeah, most people prefer Silent Hill 2. After you visit me at a most opportune moment, I have tidings that you of all people should hear. After our last encounter, I presented our findings on the art of summoning to my fellow scholars. Suffice it to say that the response has been enthusiastic. In addition to a flood of offers to assist with my research, I've also been promised a contribution of several rare Allegan tombstones. I imagine that any summoning knowledge hidden within those relics would prove of great benefit to us both. Shall we journey out to Mordona now, and pay a visit to Rambros? You can't stand survival horror games except for Bloodborne isn't really survival horror. That's a push. You just sat waiting on the stat screen to see which ending you get. I hope it's dog ending. Dog ending, best ending. That's closest to the genre that you like. Fair. That's fair. I quite like... I'm not good at horror. Because you can't... In a lot of horror games, you can't do anything against the thing that's trying to get you. Like, either it's just an instant kill or anything, and it's all of that anticipation of where's it going to be, what's it going to do, and that fucks me up. But if it's a game where you can actually do something against the horror aspect, like Resident Evil or The Evil Within, and things like that, I quite enjoy them. And like Dead Space, oh, I loved Dead Space. Dead Space was good. You don't like the controls and inventory management. I can understand that, especially for older titles and things like Resident Evil. But yeah, I enjoy them. They have their place. If I'm gonna play a horror game, I'd rather play a horror survival personally over something like Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's. That the anticipation of when something's gonna get you is the worst part. And part of that is probably my own psychoses. So I am well aware of that. Arthur, how do you fare, my friend? As ever, we here at St. Koinux Find remain firmly entrenched in our effort to excavate the secrets of the Allagan Empire. The members of Noah must be armed with knowledge if they are truly to pave the way to the future. I see you are here with the intrepid Ymitra. Might I assume you've come to collect your promised tombstones? Aye, I'm most eager to sink my scholar's teeth into something new. Then allow me to feed your fervour. We've uncovered a number of relics which, on cursory inspection, appear to contain detailed methodology for several summoner incantations. Who better than you to decipher their mysteries? Leviathan, Ramu, Shiva. With every new primal that appears, the importance of a thorough study of summoning magics becomes ever more apparent. Speaking of those particular deities, After, I'm given to understand that you had a hand in defeating every one of them. Your name features quite prominently in the reports we received from the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. And as you were present at each of their downfalls, it then follows that your aura was infused with the essences of those primals. Could it be possible that you now have the potential to call forth new Igai? By the 12, of course! The most trying of the requisite conditions has already been met. All that remains is to perform the summoning rituals at locations charged with the appropriate elemental energies. Master Rambros, can you suggest any place in which the etheric balance tips heavily towards either water, lightning, or ice? The singing shards would adequately serve your needs for lightning. The area is alive with the constant discharge of crackling energy. The singing shards it is then. Let us perform the austerities of lightning and attempt to bring Ramu Igi into this world. With Shadow, Silent, I keep wanting to say Shadow 2 for some reason. With Silent Hill 2, you got to obtain a totally legit ISO of the game and then get the mods. Yeah, totally legit. Let us then begin the austerities of lightning. Concentrate on shifting your etheric energies towards the desired element. I sense nothing. I do not understand. All the conditions have been fulfilled. This summoning ritual has never failed us before. What could we be missing? Well, there's little point in us remaining here if Ramu Igai will not answer your call. Shall we return to Gridania? I'm not sure how to pronounce the E-guy, Eggy, a G bit. I also wish there was just a straight up teleport to Apkalu Falls. It would make things considerably easier. Hello, After. I scoured my research notes for a hint as to why the summoning failed. There were no revelations to be found. I'm forced to conclude that the cause must lie outside our current understanding of the art. Thus shall I begin studying the tombstones we received from Rambros, and hope they contain some heretofore unknown wisdom. Mayhap these new Egai require a different manner of catalyst? While I delve into this mystery, I suggest you continue practicing your art. We enter an uncharted realm of summoning, and you must be prepared, body and spirit. Speaking of summoner, I should probably have my carbuncle summoned. Oh. Greetings, After. Since last we met, the arduous task of deciphering those tombstones has occupied my every waking moment. I've made significant progress, but the cause of the ritual's failure yet eludes me. I'm somewhat heartened, however, by my discovery of a number of new incantations. In fact, there is one spell which I believe you could soon master with minimum of instruction. Huh? Pray, forgive my interruption. You're the leader of the research effort on summoning magics, yeah? I'm Captain Dancing Wolf of the Immortal Flames. It's fortunate that I find you together, as I have questions for you both. And what would the Immortal Flames want with us, Captain Wolf? Does Uldar's military have some vested interest in the activity of summoners? Just one summoner in particular, madam. We seek a man by the name of Tristan. And you do know him. I've read reports that you've been in pursuit of our former soldier, but I always like to have confirmation on our intelligence. The Immortal Flames has its own reason for wanting Tristan found. If you have any idea of his whereabouts, then I must know what you know. So, Tristan matched his summoning magics against yours and was ultimately consumed in fire. And you're certain he perished. Have we given you reason to suspect otherwise? I do not doubt the veracity of your tale, but there's been an incident. A merchant caravan was recently attacked by a man who, by the description given, closely resembles Tristan in appearance. Should we allow the crime of a former Immortal Flame to go unanswered, then the integrity of the entire organization will be called into question. I will find him and see that justice is served. We looked on as Tristan was engulfed in flames. Naught remained, not even a charred corpse. And we believe him utterly consumed. Could he have somehow survived that inferno? If he is alive, then we have unwittingly permitted the escape of a known pawn of the Paragons. Captain Wolf, you must allow us to accompany you on your investigation. Your combined expertise in the summoning arts is most welcome, Lady Ymitra. The attack occurred on one of the roads out of Camp Drybone. Join me at the settlement proper, and we can continue the search for witnesses. The endings for Silent Hill 2 are wild. You got the good ending, which is considered to be the best one. I forget the different endings. I knew them once. I know that there's one where you have to have looked at the picture of your wife a certain number of times or a certain amount of cumulative time. Or some shit. I don't remember. It's been fucking years. Oh wait, he's right here. Ymitra, after. As we are now cooperating on this investigation, I see no reason not to trust you with some of its duties. Let's split up and find out what these merchants know. Ermagerd! A friend of mine survived the assault. Said he even caught a glimpse of the villain's twisted face. I'm certain he would tell you more had he not left the camp the moment his injuries were bound. The different endings are from like skipping a cutscene, don't look at this item or examine this letter, don't heal, don't drop too much health, go straight to objective, get side. Yeah, there's a lot of different triggers for the different endings, I know. Aye, now that you mention it, they did just cart in the body of a merchant. Such things are hardly noteworthy around here, though. As such, I failed to take notes. The attack out on the road? Here, the man who did it was swathed in a robe that was as black as midnight. One of Ifrit's tempered, I should think. Yeah, it is a cool mechanic. There's a game that I think there's just a demo of it out now, but it basically does a personality analysis on you, depending on your playstyle. I think it's called Freeside. I don't know if it's following like the 16 personalities archetype or anything, but that seems kind of cool, and I might play that when it releases fully. I just saw it on TikTok, so no idea how good it actually is, but it seemed cool. So, we have one merchant left alive to tell the tale. According to my inquiries, our intrepid trader will likely be en route to Highbridge. We may yet catch him on the road if we're swift. Get fucked! I heard a Malta war cries. Are you unhurt, sir? Yes, thank you, well, aside from the injuries I sustained from a previous incident, I suppose. First the caravan, and now this. Must Thal be so eager to usher me into his hall? It is concerning the assault on your caravan that we endeavoured to seek you out, sir. Is there aught you can tell us of your attacker? Aye, I should be glad to see him brought to justice, though I did not see his face in any great detail, concealed as it was in the depths of a black cowl. I did glimpse a lock of silvery hair. By his stature I marked him of Hyuran stock, and by his fiery servant a hell-spawned demon in disguise. Fiery servant? Thal's balls! That's the one! Where do you people find those things? The villain was in command of the Ifrit Egai then, and we know the affinity Tristan has for primal flame. Aye, all the evidence points towards our man. Thank you for your cooperation, sir. You've been a great help to our investigation. Oh, think nothing of it. Consider it poor recompense for my rescue at the hand of this gallant adventurer. I must report these developments to my superiors at the Hall of Flames. Pray, join me in Uldar. There is more I would discuss with you. Okay, so already Summoner is traveling about far more than Scholar did. You know of Tristan's older brother, Kaedin. Both were soldiers in service to the Immortal Flames. Both were soldiers under my command. Our unit was one of many deployed in the mission to destroy the Primal Efreet, an operation that succeeded at a staggering cost. Those who were not incinerated were tempered, Kaedin suffering the latter fate. As you well know, a primal's power is fueled by the faith of its thralls, and the greatest mercy we can grant such unfortunates is a swift journey to Thal's hallowed halls. Tristan volunteered to end the cursed existence of his own brother. He returned to Uldar with Keldin's blood on his blade, and I watched, helpless, as the guilt slowly strangled the life in his eyes. No words of comfort could reach him, and when he at last quit the flames, he was a husk of the man he once was. Never did I imagine his grief-maddened mind would drive him to such desperate evils. Tristan was my soldier, and it is my responsibility to stop him. Thanks to your aid, we have mounting proof that he's still out there. When we are ready, we shall make our move. We are content to follow your lead in this, Captain Wolf, and we should certainly be fully prepared if we are to meet the Dark Summoner in battle. To that end, I would teach you one of the incantations I gleaned from those repositories of Allagan wisdom. It is a spell of damaging magic, employed in battle by the Summoners of Eld. Let us call upon Captain Wolf once again, once you have mastered its use. It would not do to engage Tristan while stumbling over unfamiliar magics. So does that replace? No, that's different from energy drain. Oh, okay, because it's just an AoE version of it. Okay. Okay. That's fine. Ah, yes. Ruin 3. I might actually need that. I was just poo-pooing it, but I might actually need that. Yeah, because that's the highest level Ruin. Because Ruin 4 is a different skill. Okay. No, yeah, Ruin 3, give it to me. I need it. Please. So it goes up to 300 potency from 270. 10% buff. Nice. Auspicious timing after. There's been news. None of it good. Our soldiers in central Thanlan have reported another attack. I looked over the notes for the initial investigation, and it would seem Tristan, or someone who looks very much like him, has struck again. I'll have one of my men contact Yamitra with the details, but I suggest we head out to the Nanawa mines immediately and question one of the surviving victims. Hello? What do you mean, more questions? I've spilled my tale to 3 different soldiers already. My work gets further and further behind every time I gotta stop and talk to you folk. Here's an idea, though. How about you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours? That big lad in the uniform there looks like he could lift some good-sized rocks. And what about you, lass? You some sort of mage? We had some trouble with the local spriggans swiping our fire silver, and you're just the woman to get it back. That stuff's as rare as chocobo teeth, you know. Just a moment, sir. We don't have the time for these distractions. And maybe I don't got the time to talk to you. Not until there's a little give with your take. I fear he means to be stubborn about this. Please, humour the man. Retrieve his precious ore from the Spriggans. Should be easy enough. Oh, I don't have... I thought I still had my chocobo out for some reason. God knows why. Well done, you managed to miss. You find them Spriggans, lass. What about me fire silver? Oh, you got the whole lot back. Much appreciated. My apologies. My studies took rather longer than I... Captain Wolf, is everything all right? Everything's fine. Now let's hear your story, sir. Aye, I reckon you've earned it. Well, we was in the mine, loading the carts with our ore for the day, when this bloke in robes appears. Doesn't say a word. Bastard just snaps his fingers and sets his pet demon lighting my mates on fire. Ifrit Egai. After, if you'd be so kind. Bloody hells. Aye, that's the fiend I saw. 'Tis as we feared then. And this robe-clad man, do you have any idea of why he attacked you? Well, lass, there's more than silver to be had from Nanawa. On a good day, we dig up our fair share of crystals as well. That seems to be what he was after. I'm not ashamed to say that I fled for my life once folks started going up in flame. But when I went back to sort out the mess, the cart that had the crystals in it was empty. He took them all? Aye, every single one. And that's all I got to say about that. Hope you catch the bastard. Crystals. There was a crate of crystals on the list of goods stolen from that caravan. He must have taken everything else to conceal his intent. Our quarry grows careless, or simply impatient. It is time I re-examined certain other incidents that we did not think related to this case. Meet me at the Hall of Flames and we shall discuss the matter further. Don't question why my voice changed partway through that sentence. Ymitra said something as well, but that was probably just... I'll see you in Uldar. I inspected our incident records, paying close attention to cargo manifests that included crystals. We'd attributed several recent raids to the Amalja, but the victims were, every one of them, burned to death. Not entirely impossible, considering the lizardman's affinity for fire, but to find not a single arrow or spear wound. Aye, 'tis highly unlikely. Mayhap I should state aloud what we are all thinking. Judging by the sheer number of crystals involved, we must assume that this villain intends to call forth a primal. After my encounter with Ifrit, I learned just how devastatingly powerful these entities can be, and I believe that summoners, with their ability to harness such power, hold the potential to achieve great things. But if Tristan truly is mad enough to summon a primal, then that unthinkable act, and the bloody deeds he performed in preparation for it, will cause people to question the motives of all who practice the summoner's art. My studies of the tombstones revealed to me a tale of adulation. The summoners of Alag were revered as heroes for their part in defeating the ancient primals. But reverence slowly turned to revulsion as practitioners, intoxicated by their own immense power, began wielding the art of summoning as a means to further their own selfish ambitions. That's not to say, of course, that all summoners chose to become tyrants. Among the common people, however, it became a strongly held superstition that those who meddled in the powers of primals ultimately fell into the embrace of evil. This superstition blossomed into outright terror, and that is when the mage hunts began. By the end of the Third Astral Era, the last of the summoners had vanished from the stage of history. And should we allow Tristan to go through with his plans, then we risk a repeat of that tragedy. I'll review the state of patrols on the crystal trade routes. We will catch him. Before I joined you at the Nanawa Mines, I was able to recover another incantation that may prove useful in the coming days. Wield its power wisely. Wheat. Greetings after. Hope you're prepared to take action. Ever since we increased our presence on the trade routes, our black-robed villain has ceased his attacks. Now it's our turn to go on the defensive. With the blessings of my superiors, I've arranged for a lightly guarded shipment of crystals with which we will lure Tristan into an ambush. And I want you there when we spring the trap. I'd already sent word to Ymitra, and she'll meet us in Camp Blue Fog. Blue Fog. Let us bring an end to this after. Not Blue Flog or Blue Frog. Blue Fog. Words, my guy. They can be rough. After you're here. Good. Our crystal couriers have just left camp. The plan is simple. The caravan will head toward the processing plant, but conveniently break an axle before reaching the East Watchtower. We three will take up separate positions nearby and wait for Tristan to take the bait. I've had the driver complaining long and loudly about the lack of a suitable escort for his precious cargo, so we can be reasonably sure that an attack will come. I trust you'll need no further explanations. Head to your assigned position and do your best to keep out of sight. Yes, because I don't have a sparkly gem creature. Ah, it burns! It burns! So has he become an Ascian? So that's definitely what he's dressed like. That is a big Ifrit. I was trying to bio him. Wrong class. Get fucked. Did I get... I got my ass mud, yeah. I miss when we had DOTs. Talk to me, soldier. I'll live, Captain. He popped right out of thin air. Took me by surprise. Same happened to me. Another man in dark robes stepped through some manner of portal and assailed me with spells. My position also came under attack. An underling, judging by the ease with which I dispatched him. I've never before seen such teleportation magics. No, it can't be. You know this man, Captain Wolf? This is Kaedin, Tristan's brother. But how? He was tempered, slain. And now both siblings have disappointed me. I should exercise more care in choosing my pawns. Ascian! That voice, you are the one who taught Tristan the art of summoning. You come to inflict yet more misery upon the world. Tristan. Yes, that was the other's name. I'd hoped to groom him, granted him the knowledge of Alag's mages that he might unleash his wrath against the primals. Alas, he was all too easily vanquished. No matter. The bringer of light has proven a more than adequate replacement for my failed Godslayer. With every primal you kill, the beastman's fervor grows ever hotter. We need but supply the tribes with crystals, and watch as they summon ever more terrible deities. When the confluence of chaos reaches its peak, the world shall be swallowed in darkness. Our master shall rise again. He's gone. We should be gone as well. I shall see that my soldier is treated for his wounds, then await you outside the Hall of Flame. Really, really random question. But do we ever get an ink? No. I don't think we do. I was going to say, do we ever get an improved physic as summoner? Like, it's such a non-thing. But basically, physic is useless. I have 25,000 health, and I can restore 800 health. Oh no, that was a crit. I can restore 500 health. Like that's nothing. It's a terrible, terrible heal. I may as well not have physic. I believe some reassessment is in order. We now know that the black-robed menace we thought to be Tristan was actually his brother, Kaedin, a reanimated puppet under the control of an Ascian. Both brothers were present at Ifrit's defeat, so Kaedin's aura too would have been stained with the Primal's essence, which, if I understand correctly, would explain his ability to command the Egai. But for that Ascian to raise the lad's corpse and press him into service as his pet summoner, I shall see the blackguard suffer for his cruel depravity. Aye, the Paragon has many crimes for which he must answer, but we must move with great caution. The power of these immortals is not to be underestimated. I'll return to Gridania and redouble my efforts to decipher the remaining tombstones. We cannot face an Ascian unprepared. Summoner feels like the job Louis Soir would have had if he'd survived 1.0. Probably not wrong. After. If you come for word on the Ascian, I fear of little progress to report. We did, however, hold a service for Kaedin. I summoned the soldiers from his old unit, and together we conveyed his remains to the priests of Thal. As for the Thanalan's trade routes, there's still the odd raid by bandits or beastmen, but naught that involves men in black robes. Must confess, I'm at a loss as to how we might track our foe. Have you spoken with Ymitra? I believe she had new findings to share with you. For Minfilia to get a combat job, for months you've said she fits Bard the most. I could see Minfilia being a Bard. But I feel like Thancred doesn't really... He's supposed to be a rogue at first, but he doesn't really fit a rogue. I could see Minfilia being like halfway between Bard and something else. Like Bard and a DPS Paladin. That's what I could see her being. You'd have her be the ones to pen the words to the song answers first in lore. Yeah, no, I could see that. It would make sense. It is the one class that is missing from the original grouping of the Archons. Is Bard, isn't it? Her adoptive mother was the songstress of Uldar too. Was it songstress or dancer? No, she was songstress. She also danced, but I think you're right that it was primarily song. Philomene. I think I'm just getting confused with Gegaruju's dancers at Costa del Sol, because that's where the quest has you go. After, there you are. We've much to discuss. I've been engrossed in my studies, you see, seeking every advantage for our inevitable clash with the Ascians. And as I struggled to unravel the ancient knowledge of the tombstones, I unlocked a good many mysteries, including the reasons why you were unable to call forth Ramuh Igai. When you summon an avatar, you draw upon your body's reservoir of ether to grant life, and to form that what is known as an arcane entity. That much we already knew. I had, however, overlooked the simple fact that our etheric reserves are finite. Thus, the magnitude of Igai that you're able to summon is limited by the extent of your own life force. Simply put, if an Igai is too powerful, then the summoning fails. But do not despair. The summoners of Allag devised a method by which one might circumvent this intrinsic limitation. Rather than attempt to summon a separate physical manifestation of the certain Igai, the most accomplished mages discovered that far less ether was required to infuse themselves with the essence of the primal's power. The technique by which a summoner might achieve this heightened state was known as a trance, What say you after? Shall we see if you can master this method? It may even allow you to contend with a paragon, but not if the essence is of an ordinary primal. Nay, we must set our sights on the most potent entity, the most fierce. I speak of the elder primal Bahamut. On the day of the calamity, the dragon vanished in an explosion so massive that his ether was carried to the far corners of Eorzea. You, among many others, have already been touched by his essence. All that remains is to perform the meditative ritual in a place steeped in Bahamut's energies, and you should be able to enter the trance of the Dreadworm. As for setting foot within the only suitable location, I believe Captain Wolf can assist us. Shall we pay him a visit? Yeah, because it's not like I've been stood within a malm of Bahamut. It's not like I've fought and killed an aspect of Bahamut. I would like, even if it's only for a pet glamour, to be able to get more e-guys. Like, similar to how you have to do quests to get the new instruments for Bard, if you could do a quest and get a new pet glamour, that'd be cool. And yeah, that is where Louis Swag gives a speech in 1.0. Apakalu Falls is very significant to the 1.0 storyline. And it's I believe it was referred to during the A Realm Reborn Summoner questline. It was either that or it was referred to before we went off and fought one of the primals. Yumitra is certainly not one to do things by half. She petitioned me to help gain entry to the ether-soaked wasteland of the Carno Flats. The Flats are disputed territory, jointly administered by the 3 member nations of the Eorzean Alliance, and attempting to earn full admittance to the area is a bureaucratic nightmare. As matters stand, I was only able to secure permission to visit the Immortal Flames airship landing. If we wish to enter the Flats proper, we'll have to do so under the cover of night. Prepare yourself for a tense journey, and make your way to the landing here in Uldar. I have one of our elite flyers standing by. The 3 Adventure Guild owners, what would their jobs be? Badaron, Miyun, Momodi. Badaroon is probably a rogue. Or Badaron, however you want to say it. Probably a rogue. Either a rogue or a marauder. But I think he better fits rogue. Miyun... probably a lancer. Now, Momodi is the interesting one, though. Because I don't know what Momodi would be. Because she does... like, as a Lalafell, she would fit with the Thaumaturges. But I can't particularly see her... like, throwing around fireballs and shit. That wouldn't fit her character. So I don't really know. I can't imagine her punching stuff either. Or being a sword and board gladiator. You nominate pugilist. Barkeeper gotta throw hands, yeah. I could see her being a pugilist more for the meditative side of it. Like, I could see her doing it like it's yoga. Or Tai Chi. More so than actually sort of putting it into practice. Whereas I could imagine Miyun going out and hunting. and Baderon being employed to do some stuff like a rogue. I'll fly you to the front door of the flats, but that's as far as you're authorized to go. Stay on the landing or face the consequences. Baderon does it for the gill. Momodi does it for fun. Miyun's got the bloodthirst. So this is what became of the Cartano Flats. Never before have I sensed such tainted ether. Let us not linger long after. Turn your mind now to Bahamut's terrible majesty. Allow his power to seep into your very being. Nothing. We may need to deepen your meditations. Do you truly attempt to harness the might of Bahamut? The essence of the Elder Primal shall tear your mortal frame asunder. Chaos rises in the presence of power, but you, bringer of light, can be allowed to shine no brighter. Come and be doused in the endless waters of the 12th chalice. Your headcanon is Ellison and Jekyll and Hyde's. I mean, we have known Ellisons that are fucking crazy. So I can't exactly argue. Oh, lingering ether. What class do you reckon... Oh shit. Do you reckon that Tataru would be? Because as far as I'm aware, she never gets a combat class. She goes on that little journey for a while where she tries. But then she decides that she's better suited to being a disciple of the hand. Machinist. Ooh, yeah. Bearing in mind that she had no great power of magic and stuff. Yeah, Machinist is a good fit. Oh, behind him. You see her as the Bruce Wayne of Lalafels. Weirdly enough, I think I know what you mean. where she'd be like bigging up all of her her contributions as the receptionist of the Signs of the Seventh Dawn, but then at night she'd just be killing people in a back alley with a gun. Oh shit! Nice. I did not anticipate this. I should not have been able to complete the meditations under such duress. But I shall not underestimate you again. Our next meeting shall be our last, bringer of light. We did it. We faced a paragon and lived. It's all thanks to you, After. You and the towering might of Bahamut that you now command. Aye. Despite the Ascians' interference, we achieved what we came here for. But I'm afraid this is not the place to celebrate. Let us return to the landing before the dawn's light finds us in forbidden territory. Business is her power, and then you expect her to work on gadgets and preparations. That works quite nicely with Wedge as well. Like, I could see Tataru getting invested in what Sid and Garland Ironworks are doing to try and learn from it all and see what the latest technology is and all of that stuff. And then that sort of ties into Wedge being in love with Tataru. Wedge is her Robin? No. Wedge is her Mr. Fox. And Biggs is her Robin. Because then you've got tiny Batman, giant Robin. Come on. Surely that's the way the way around it works. That would be amazing. A Lalafelian Batman with a Rogadin Robin. Dressed up with like the capes and everything. Like the Adam West outfits. Tataru just looks like she's going to a sleepover, and Biggs looks like a fucking sex offender. Oh, that tickles me too much. She carries a giant ass bomb with a Moogle face painted on it. Yeah. I haven't done the Hildebrand questline, but like I would love another questline that just follows the adventures of Bataru. We have reason to rejoice, my friends. It would seem our clandestine adventure went unnoticed by my superiors, and more importantly, we seized the upper hand in a battle against an Ascian. The trance did appear most effective against our immortal foe. For such a hurried night's work, we managed to reap quite a harvest indeed. Aye, but it's a pity the bastard fled when he did. Would have liked to have settled the score then and there. 'Twas for the best, Captain Wolf. If we would have truly defeated the Ascian, then we must be prepared to destroy him utterly, body and soul. Thinking about the universe of Bataru, Joker would definitely be in Ellison. The Merchant Brothers are gunbreakers. I'm not sure which Merchant Brothers you're talking about. At the start of the game? Oh, from the caravan. I could kind of see that. After, I was about to send for you. Yumitra should be here any moment. Ah, wonderful. We're all here. I've been pondering some metaphysical theories, and I would discuss my conclusions with the both of you. Ever since our battle on the flats, the memory of our adversary fleeing the field has been preying upon my mind. According to the Scions and their research, the Paragons are effectively immortal. They are said to be ethereal entities with no physical form of their own, instead possessing mortal host after mortal host in an endless procession down the ages. But once After had acquired the Dreadworm trance, the haste with which the Ascian withdrew did not seem to me the action of a being who harbours no fear of death. Thus do I pose the question, could it be that the 12th Chalice and his black-masked brethren are not as practised in the art of possession as their red-veiled masters? At the time of the battle, our bodies were the only available hosts nearby. Assuming that he also lacks his superiors a facility to flee to the space betwixt worlds, I suspect that our foe's sudden cowardice stemmed from an inability to force his soul into our living vessels. Pippin is involved as Bane. Ah. Yeah. Similar to the Alexander fight, where you have where the goblin becomes massive like Bane. You just do the same thing with Pippin. Like, I would love to see a cutscene where Pippin injects venom and ends up bigger than Rauban. That would be so funny. Lolo Rito as Ra's al Ghul is a very good, like, that's an obvious one. I feel like Estinian could be Black Mask. No! Aymeric. Have Aymeric be Black Mask. Estinian would be more like, fuck, his name's left me. Zaz. Joker is Karasu from the Ninja storyline. That actually, that does fit. His character is already kind of there. trying to think of... I'm also struggling to think of Batman villains at the moment. I mean, there's so many Makote to choose from, but who would be Catwoman? Philomene. No, Philomene would be Songbird. Or is it Songbird? No, Black Canary? Black Canary. Nanamo. Nanamo is Catwoman. Yes, yes. Because she definitely needs to steal jewels. That I would love the cutscene where Nanamo tries to rationalize why she steals from the monetarists. And it turns out that it's just because she doesn't like them. Like, it's not because she needs the wealth. It's not because of anything, it's just she doesn't like the monetarists. That would explain much, including the reason why he chose the deceased Kahaden to serve as his puppet. Aye, I believe the theory is sound. Shall we put it to the test? If we're able to lure the 12th Chalice to a location devoid of potential hosts, then we might succeed in destroying him for good. And what are we waiting for? We must begin devising a plan to draw the villain from hiding. Not so fast, Captain Wolf. We must first obtain the means by which we can ensure the Ascian's demise. A mighty coup de grace, delivered before he has the chance to retreat. Urianger is Alfred. I can see that. I could see Thancred as what is it? Crimson Mask? No, Red Hood. Red Hood. If anything, Adelbert would be Nightwing. Magni is Killer Croc. I'm not sure I remember who Magni is. Anyway, after, there's a passage within the last tombstone that describes how the power of a trance can be unleashed in a single devastating blast. The technique itself, however, was not explained. According to my research, it can only be learned from a forbidden book found on the shelves of the Great Google Library. Wait, no, Magni is one of the Zayli. Right? From Stormblood? That's why I'm not remembering who it is, because I've not done Stormblood on this character yet. To reach the library will require a long and perilous journey over Abalathia's spine and into the wilds of the Dravanian hinterlands. But I believe we three are up to the task. Shall we be on our way then? The key to defeating the 12th Chalice will soon be within our grasp. Okay, so Summoner is also going to require us to go into a Heavensward zone once. And it's for the level 60 quest. Raubarns is Solomon Grundy. That's quite good. The Elder Seed Seer is Poison Ivy. Not that that particularly fits her character, from like Poison Ivy's personality, but just it would make so much sense for the Elder Seedseer to be able to control plants. Ida or Lys would be Harlequin. Merlwyb is Deadshot, yeah. Estinian is Two-Face. Now that we are all arrived, we can enter the library and begin our search for this forbidden tome. You've strayed far from the safety of your cities, foolish mortals. Whatever could you be planning? Two-Face is Alphino. I don't see it from Alphino as much. But I am mainly just thinking of Heavensward, I suppose. But I guess I could see if Alphino went crazy, shit would get fucked up. Again! Always he arrives at the worst possible moment. Bent on justice for the world, burned by corruption, turns back. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Because Harvey Dent doesn't have... It's the need for vengeance that turns him into Two-Face. He doesn't have the need for vengeance first. It is no coincidence, I fear. And this time he leaves naught to chance. Oh shit, okay. 'Twas amusing at first to watch you stumble like clumsy children, but too insistent is your dabbling. Those who will not dance upon our palm shall be crushed within our fist. No more shall we endure your blinding effulgence. There can be no rival to the encroaching darkness. You have earned the ire of La Hebrea's most loyal servants. Did you imagine the battle ended with our master's defeat? Stand now, bringer of light, and suffer the pain of our retribution. Would it not be wiser to retreat and seek the tome another day? They mean to afford us no such opportunity, my dear captain. Either we stand and fight, or we die. Ooh, that turns it into an instant cast? Oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Yeah, Dreadworm Trance is good. Wonder of the Heavens. Who the fuck are you? Are you summoning? Oh, yeah. Yeah, there it is. Ouch. But what's with the void behind him? Okay. Is it just that I shouldn't stand in those? Or should I stand in it? I don't know. Thank you, Ymitra, for using Stone Skin, because I don't ever get to use that anymore. Not until we get to Eureka. And to be fair, now that I think about it, that's Protect and Shell, not Stone Skin. How? We were raised unto greatness by La Brea himself. You defeated my master bringer of light. Mayhap it is meet that your strength was beyond us. But the day will come. You'll not escape us this time, Ascian! Now, after! Unleash your power! We're going Super Saiyan. That... Okay. We didn't have the 3 episodes of building up power to do Spirit Bomb. That was just instant. It's done! The Paragon is no more! A most impressive spell, after. But when did you learn how to cast it? Did we not first require the library's tome? My apologies, Captain, but in order to deceive one's enemies, 'tis best to begin with one's friends. There was never any such book. All that After truly required was the catalyst of battle to focus her energies. I knew that once the Ascians observed us travelling toward this library, he would assume we sought some long-buried wisdom. He could not risk leaving After free to gain even greater power. Ah, so this entire journey was a feint, a trap to lure him into the woods. Well, you certainly had me fooled. Remind me never to cross wits with you, Ymitra. Together we've achieved something of which few people can boast. The defeat of an Ascian. Never could I have accomplished this deed alone. Thanks to your actions, Tristan's case can also be put to rest. Long have I been haunted by the horrors of that Ifrit mission, but at last I feel a measure of peace. I'll return to Uldar and have a gravestone for Tristan laid beside his brothers. We may not have his bones, but it will be a place where the survivors from his unit can pay respects to the man he once was. I bid you farewell, my friends. May we meet again under happier circumstances. I too would extend to you my gratitude, After. In addition to untold slaughter, you've prevented summoning's tragic history from repeating itself in a new age. We must take greater precautions against this ancient art falling into the wrong hands. I'll work alongside my colleagues in the Suns and be sure that the spread of summoning is closely monitored. If only we could uncover a lasting solution to the primal predicament. There must be a way to break this self-perpetuating cycle of meeting force with force. As for myself, I shall continue my research into primals and summoning, and offer the Scions whatever support I am able. I'm certain our paths shall cross again after. Hell yeah! And now we get the Caller's attire, which we can see the helmet of. This I actually like. I don't so much like the legs. But this is reminding me of... Is it Terra? Final Fantasy IV? It reminds me of her a bit. It also kind of looks like one of the PvP armor sets. Terra is Final Fantasy VI. Okay. Is it Gaia then? There's a summoner in Final Fantasy IV who's usually green. And she goes with the sylphs or some shit. It's reminding me of her a bit. I hope I'm not getting my Final Fantasies confused. That would be embarrassing. But if I am going to get any of them confused, it is going to be 1 through 6. But the one I'm thinking of is definitely 4. Because it was on the Nintendo DS remakes that I'm thinking of. So it must have been 4, because that was the only one that had the remake. Rydia! Yes! Thank you. I'm impressed that you were able to post that, though. Burnbot. Are you sleeping? Oh. It's because timeout is no longer recognized? But it is. Timeout is still a command. So why did that not work? I'm confused why that didn't work. I mean, it's fine that it didn't, but I'm confused why Burnbot didn't time you out. I mean, who am I kidding? Burnbot is mostly broken because Twitch has been updated multiple times as well. Speaking of which, hi Patinga! Burnbot is striking. Ah, I see. Yep, that makes sense. Alright. Do I... Ooh. That might actually be useful. Do I finish up soon? Or do we try and push out one more set of job quests? Might as well do a theochemical facility to practice Scholar. No. 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 If I am gonna do another class, so we've done White Mage, Scholar, and Astro, Dark Knight, Machinist, and Summoner. So if I was to do Bard or Black Mage, that would polish off their respective groups. Better yet, Baelsar's Wall minimum eye level. No. No. No, no. If there's any classes that I really want to do the job quests for, it's probably Paladin and Warrior, because if I get queued into a level 60 or higher duty as Warrior or Paladin, I'm gonna need the tool set. Have I seen the Lucy Pyre Waifus Husbandos video for Final Fantasy XIV jobs? No, I am aware of Lucy Pyre, but I've not really watched any of her stuff. When it comes to Final Fantasy XIV creators, the only ones that I've been following are Wrath Games for his soloing series and Cider Spider for his achievement series. Like I don't really watch. I think I may have watched. I think I've watched a couple of Lucy Pyre's things around mounts and things like that. So yeah. I've already done my dailies for today, right? No. No, I've not. Okay. Could do that then. Given that it's already 11 and I was streaming until 2 AM last night, I can't do that again. I can't. Do I want to do dailies? We could do that tomorrow. Well, no, I can do that after the stream, or I can do that tomorrow. The thing is, like, I don't know how long the job quests are going to take, because some of them have taken a while, and some of them have been very quick. Like, Scholar was very quick, and if I hadn't have been getting distracted so much, it would have been even quicker. I feel like Warrior is not going to be that quick. I also really need to level my Blue Mage, because I need to do the level 60 Blue Mage quest to unlock the Blue Mage log. I think I should just call it here. So yeah, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one. Later.